Hi, and welcome to Watch It Played. My name is Rodney Smith, and in this video, we're going to learn the 1 to 5 player European expansion for Wingspan, designed by Elizabeth Hargrave and published by Stonemaier Games, who helped sponsor this video. The birds in the original game of Wingspan were found primarily in North America, but with this expansion, we're increasing our flock to include 81 new birds from Europe, along with several new components, which we'll look at in just a moment. But if you've never played Wingspan, you should start by watching our full tutorial for that game, which you'll find linked in the description below. Otherwise, join me at the table, and let's learn how to add this experience to your game of Wingspan. First, you'll find 81 new bird cards to shuffle in with all the other birds that you already have. And the expansion also includes an additional tray to help you keep everything organized as your collection grows. You also get 5 new bonus cards to shuffle in with the others, and the percentages that you'll find on them here are designed to apply when they're added to the original game. The expansion has 5 new double-sided goal tiles to mix in with the original set, and they recommend that you use the green side of the goal mat with this expansion, as some of the new goals don't work as well with the blue side. And then by the goal mat, also set this included reference tile, which we'll discuss in more detail later. You also get a couple of new plastic storage containers, along with additional eggs and food to add to your resources. And although the new eggs are a new color, as with all other eggs, the colors don't matter. Well, unless you're playing with me, in which case I am going to color code my egg choices to the birds that laid them, though that admittedly still does not earn you any extra points. These 4 cards, which include 2 additional bonuses, are for use in the solo mode, so you can set these aside during a multiplayer game, and you can learn how they work by following the solo play expansion rules covered here in the rulebook, which I'll leave for you to discover on your own. Otherwise, that's the setup. Games played with this expansion follow all the same rules as the base game, with a couple of new twists that come from some of the new birds. So let's go back to the table, and I'll show you some examples. Some birds will have an asterisk beside their cost, and that means there's some additional cost instructions that you'll find in this area here. For example, this Eastern Imperial Eagle would cost 3 rodent food tokens normally, but as explained here, for each rodent token in its cost, you can pay 1 bird card from your hand instead, tucking it behind this card. And as we know, tucked cards are worth points. So if I tucked 2 cards underneath of this eagle, then it would only cost me 1 rodent token, and at the end of the game, I'd gain 2 more points. This red kite says that instead of paying any of its costs, you can play this for free on top of another bird on your player mat, discarding any eggs or food on that bird, flipping it over, and placing it as a tucked card under the red kite. And that's just a couple examples of some of these new types of asterisk costs. Another new ability to look out for in this set are birds with round end effects, which show this teal background. As the reference reminds you, after all player turns in the round have been completed, you'll resolve the round end bird powers before doing anything else. Some of these new abilities are based on where players have added action cubes during the round. So make sure that nobody clears their action cubes away until all bird powers and scoring has been completed. Also, if you have more than 1 bird with end of round abilities, you can resolve them in any order. You're reminded of when you can remove your action cubes here on the reference token as well. Now, as an example, the hooded crow says that at the end of the round, you pick any one other player, and for each action cube that they have on their grasslands habitat, you can tuck up to 1 card from your hand behind this bird. So I could tuck up to 3, but let's say there's only 2 in my hand that I want to tuck. So I would do this. And then it tells me here that I draw from the deck a number of new cards equal to how many I tucked, so 2 in this case. Here's the Yellowhammer, and its round end effect says that if you used all 4 types of actions in a round, in other words, if you played a card, gained food, laid eggs, and drew bird cards, then you can now play another bird from your hand, paying its costs as usual. Here are just a few other round end effects if you'd like to pause the video and see some more of the variety included, but I wanted to draw your attention to this one specifically. As it says here, it counts double towards the end of round goal if it qualifies for that goal, and let me show you an example of how this would work. If we were scoring round 1 and we had this goal, which by the way comes from this new expansion, it says that you're checking to see who has the most birds that are worth more than 4 victory points. That means when counting up how many birds I have that qualify, if I had this bird in my habitat, it would count because it has a value of 7 points. But then down here, the round end effect means it will count as 2 birds for the purposes of this goal. If you have any questions about how the different new goal tokens work, just check this section of the rulebook here where they're explained in detail. The same goes for all the various birds, and I've showed you a few, but there are many other special abilities introduced in this set to explore as you play. And feel free to pause if you'd like to stop and read some of them that I'm showing you on screen, or if you just want to admire the artwork. Now, we won't be going over all the various new birds in this video, as they're all explained in detail on the cards themselves and in the rulebook on these pages if you have any questions. I should mention the game also comes with a colorful new score pad that includes scoring on one side for multiplayer games and solo score sheets on the other. But otherwise, that's how you play the European expansion for Wingspan. If you have any questions about anything you saw here, feel free to put them in the comments below and I'll gladly answer them as soon as I get a chance. And if you found this video helpful, please consider giving it a like, subscribing, and clicking that little bell icon so you get notification anytime we post a new video. But until next time, thanks for watching.